So I want to show you one of my favorite dinners that I put on the table all the time. Both of my kids and husband gobble down. It is my Thai chicken stew. So this recipe actually started from my Meals Made Simple cookbook, and it started as a beef Thai stew. But I had frozen chicken in the freezer one day and I needed to get dinner on the table in 30 minutes, and so it has turned into a chicken Thai stew. So I have a couple of pounds here of chicken breasts. You can use thighs, whatever you have on hand. And here's the beauty of the pressure cooker is if you don't have time to defrost them, it doesn't matter. You can just put them right in frozen. Okay, so I've got a fairly large yellow onion, so I'm just using half of it, and I've just thinly sliced it. We'll add those guys right on top of the chicken. Okay, and then we've got some garlic. So I just squeezed a whole lime in there. And then we need 2 tablespoons each fish sauce and some coconut aminos. And then our Thai curry paste. So I'm gonna use this whole jar, which if you have a different brand that is a little bit spicier, you may need to cut it down. You may only need a couple tablespoons, but this one's really mild. I can add this entire jar and my kids can still eat it. Okay, and then we have tomato paste, ground ginger. If you have fresh on hand, it will taste better, but this is kind of all about being last minute. Okay, and the last piece of this dish is a good can of full-fat coconut milk. I'm just gonna get all of that wonderful coconut fat right off the top, and then we'll get our water from underneath it. We want the whole can. I'm gonna mix this all up and then we'll pop the lid on, walk away for a half an hour and come back to dinner. So I'm gonna use the meat stew function. If you have a different machine, just go ahead and do manual pressure on high, and we're setting it for 30 minutes. These are somewhat larger chicken breasts. If you have smaller, if you're using thighs, it could probably be even a little bit less time. If it is frozen, I would add about 10 to 15 minutes to that time. All right, my timer went off and I released the pressure from the machine. And I'm just going to pull my chicken out here and just roughly chop it just so it's in smaller bite-sized pieces. All right, so I have about 4 cups of frozen vegetables that I left on the counter to defrost for a little while. And I'm just going to pour those into the hot sauce just to kind of start softening them, cooking them a little bit. When you use frozen vegetables, they are already usually blanched, which kind of starts the cooking process. So I'm not going to even turn the machine back on to cook these because they're going to stay kind of crisp tender just by hitting the hot sauce. If you're using fresh veggies, I suggest stirring them in and then popping that lid back on and setting your machine for just a minute, just to get them cooked enough so that they're kind of crisp tender, but they're not completely soggy and mushy. Okay. And we'll cut all of this chicken. Look at that. That chicken was partially frozen when I put it into the pot, and with only 30 minutes, it just shreds right apart. Let's just get all of this chicken right back into the sauce. Stir this all together and dinner is ready to go. Make sure to get a good amount of hearty chicken. This mix that I used has a mix of carrots, broccoli, green beans, onions, red bell pepper, a bunch of different stuff. I think there's even some mushrooms in there. It's just got a tiny hint of spice from that chili paste, sweetness from the coconut milk, and good salty flavor from the coconut aminos and that fish sauce, and it seriously smells like I just walked into a Thai restaurant. And the shredded chicken just melts right in your mouth. This is one of our favorite meals. I think it's gonna become one of yours too.